up the past and the future leaks out.
I always had the suspicion of this idea that there's the good stuff and the bad stuff. I don't think it's like that. I think being decent is a process that's hard. It's like doing science or working in technology. You have to get results. You don't necessarily know what'll work.
Cut up the past and the future leaks out. The art of literally cutting up text and images in random fashion and then reassembling them to form a new and unexpected patterns.
I resonate with what you were saying about how program or be programmed, which obviously is a theme we've heard before, but it made me think of, everything you do, absolutely everything you do in your existence creates some level of entropy that influences your environment. So every thought, every bit of energy, every action that you perform, everything that you're involved with, even if in your eyes, on your scale, you don't see it affecting a lot. Maybe your piece of art has 40 viewers, but one of those 40 viewers, you've triggered something in their mind that's made them create something that maybe is seen by thousands of people. And then within those thousands of people, it triggers something in those people, and they, these actions trigger other things in people, and it's cumulative entropy that actually pushes these ideas, these vibes, these energies forward out onto the world to create these new things, to actually change things.
Cut up the past and the future leaks out. The art of literally cutting up text and images in random fashion and then reassembling them to form a new and unexpected patterns. By doing so, one can destabilize language, perception, and reality and get closer to the truth.
I felt so lonely. I felt like just a kind of deep black loneliness, and part of how I found my way out of it was with these fantasies of ways to reach across to other people's hidden minds that were hidden inside these funny sacks of skin, these heads, and
You have entered the mind's underground.
Have we lost a conceptual spiritual ambition? Have we become more technocratic and lost this idea that there can be these radical transformations in human existence? And if so, is that a bad thing?
Yeah, well, that is the question, actually. I'm haunted by that question. I do think that there was a certain utopian spirit that got subsumed maybe by corporate marketing in Silicon Valley, where these days when you hear something's going to change the world, you just dismiss it because it's just the latest, Silicon Valley cloud thing. It's said all the time and it doesn't mean anything anymore. And your question about whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is a hard one to answer. As I was saying before, I'm really suspicious of utopian thinking, even though when I was younger, I was a pretty good channel for it at times. I think it's probably some sort of a question of balance. I think a little bit of it, especially when you're young, is a good thing. I think it's important not to take too much of the world as given. But what I flash on when you ask that question is how Steve Bannon adopted the language of sort of the left intellectuals of the same period about deconstruction, and this idea that the whole world we've been given is corrupt and must be destroyed, and then as soon as we destroy the bad things, the bad thoughts and the bad people, then everything will be great. It's the same fallacy I was talking about before. I mean, that's the danger in utopian thinking, is that it can turn you into a pointless vandal very, very easily. I think the more useful thinking is to think of betterment as a project that's a challenge, rather than just think of the world as being annoying because we just have to get rid of the bad people and everything will be okay. If you could have just enough of utopian feeling that you do question the world as it is and imagine how it could be better, I think that's a wonderful thing. But if you take it too far, you actually undermine yourself. So I would say like a homeopathic utopianism I will support.
If more programmers knew poetry and more poets knew programming, I'm convinced the world would be a lot better place. cut up the past and the future leaks out. The art of literally cutting up text and images in random fashion and then reassembling them to form a new and unexpected patterns. By doing so, one can destabilize language, perception, and reality and get closer to the truth.